We now welcome our next guest for the day, Lieutenant General Dilip Bharadwaj, PVSM, VSM. Sir, may I have your permission to please? Thank you, sir. Sir has an experience of 40 years in Indian Army. Lieutenant General Dilip Bharadwaj, PVSM, VSM, was commissioned in June 1971 in the Armored Corps. He participated in the 1971 Indo-Pak War. During his 40 years of distinguished service, he held a variety of command staff and instructional appointments. He has commanded an armored regiment, an armored brigade, and an infantry division. He was the commander of Indian Army contingent to the UN Peacekeeping Force in Lebanon. He served as the Director General Mechanized Forces at Army's headquarters for 3 years prior to the retirement in October 2010. And was closely associated with the management, upgradation, and procurement of all equipment for mechanized forces. During his tenure, the MBT Arjun was inducted into the service. Sir is an alumni of NDA, IMA, DSSC, and DC. During his service, he has attained an MSc Defense Sciences, MMS equivalent MBA from Osmania University, and MPhil Defense and Strategic Studies. Post-retirement, till November 2012, he was appointed as the CEO of Skill Advanced Systems with the charter of establishing a greenfield production facility for the land-based weapons systems. Currently, Sir is a consultant to the Western India Foggings Private Limited in Pune. Now I request Sir to please share his knowledge with our batch.
Colonel Vinod Marwa, Chairman and Managing Trustee, Dr. Jai Singh, Dr. Hem Rajani, Director of the Indian Institute of Education and Business Management, young men and ladies of the 17th, 19th batch. You all are in the threshold of a very important phase of your lives. And the next 2 years will possibly be the most interesting years that you would have undergone in your life. And you're all very fortunate to be over here today and study in this wonderful institute. And I'm sure that what you will gather would be tremendous. So therefore, for the topic of my talk today, I have chosen Your Potential Unlimited. The aim of my talk is to kindle a spark in you, to enable you to achieve your life's ambition to your full potential. Now, it's going to be a very, very difficult task for me today. I know. A last speaker for the day, and not a very, very, a great one, for a student. Because the students got many, many more other things, and we've been right through it. So I'll try and keep it as light as possible. And I'm sure, you take it in the same spirit, and don't take it as, it's not going to be too heavy. I'll cover the topic in the following phases. I'll be talking about the attributes of success, the pillars of success, what are the binding ingredients, and some closing thoughts to you. I'll start with a quote. A quote, "Don't accept a life of mediocrity when you hold such infinite potential within the fortress of your mind. Dare to tap your greatness. It is your birthright," said none other than Robin Sharma, who, as you know, is a leadership guru and has done outstandingly well. And I do recommend that in the course of your study, you do pick up some of the books that he has got. When I was growing up, one of the comments I used to hear very, very often, especially I'm talking about the time, when I was leaving school and just about to get into NDA. It was a phrase, "He has potential." I used to hear it so often about myself. I used to hear it about my other friends who were in school with me together and we were about to leave school. And most of it used to be told to me by our teachers, our parents, and elders. But that was not where it ended, because when it was there, he has potential, because that sentence used to end with the word but. He has potential, but he does not work hard. He has potential, but he is not serious. He has potential, but he doesn't concentrate. And that used to put us all right down. We said, what the hell? There has to be something wrong. So, as we grew up in life, we then decided that, look, let's see and study and find out what's going on. And I studied all the great leaders as to how well they were doing and why they were doing so well in life. I studied my own peers, colleagues, and the ones who were slightly elder to me. And one thing I realized, what all of them had was, they had a winning mindset. And they knew that they had to win. And the more you read, the more you realized that success is never guaranteed. You have to really work hard. Every individual craves to be successful in life. But you have to train for it. You have to train to be successful. It is not a given. And success is a result of a series of steps that you take, one after the other, and gradually improve in life till you finally achieve your goals. So therefore, as you move on in life, you realize that success is not an accident. Success, as I said, is taken deliberately, and it can be achieved by anyone. Each person has a unique ability to tap into his potential. Some people learn to harness it very early in life. There are some of us who manage to harness it a little later. And there are some of us who never learn how to tap into our potential. So the earlier you realize how to tap your potential, you'll benefit the maximum. So whatever you expect from life, you will get it. But what you have to achieve is a change in your attitude. And that is what I'm going to speak to you about. Much of what happens in your life is not in your control. The only thing that is really in your control are your thoughts and how you respond to them. You have no control over the weather. You have no control over the country's economy. You have no control over the actions of any other person. So the only thing you actually control is your thought, your action, and how you respond to them. So therefore, in terms, what the only choice that you actually have is how you respond to any particular given situation. And we have the ability every day to choose the attitude that we want to take for that particular day. And if you have a positive attitude for that day, and it becomes contagious for the year around, you will have a positive influence in life. I have found that for any event, 10% of it actually happens to you. 90% is how you have responded to that event. So therefore, if you want to have a positive attitude, it is the response that you have, that you are able to give, is what actually depends on that. Now, as far as psychology is concerned, they take the term locus of control. There are two types of control. Either it is internal or it is external. If you have an internal locus of control, you are in full control of your thoughts and action. And if you have an external locus of control, then you blame everything on circumstances, on external stuff. Why doesn't it happen? Don't blame me. Such and such thing happened, and therefore I couldn't achieve what I actually intended to achieve. And the whole thing is a blame game. Now, what I have found is that for all successful people, they all exhibited an internal, obviously, locus of control. So your aim should be, how can you achieve an internal control? How can you be able to exercise your thoughts and your actions and have full command over them? And that is what we expect you to be able to achieve. So the aim should be for you to focus your energies on controlling your thoughts and actions and knowing that the right response will result in the best results for any task that has been ever given to you. It is possible to achieve great things, as many people have done time and time again, essentially, but the only person who has to control your thoughts and your actions are you. Nobody else can do that. So, as I said, success is something that is not promised to anybody. There is no limit to the amount of success that you can achieve. But successful people have always ensured that they have able to apply themselves, and by no means has it been just thrust on them. One thing I believe, that any successful person who has achieved anything worthwhile has understood is the principle of having to apply themselves. Any successful person believes in giving his very best and thereby trying to improve his complete circumstances every time. Now, over here, I'll take the example of Sachin Tendulkar. Now, we all realize that Sachin Tendulkar is an icon. He has achieved what no other cricketer in the world has been able to achieve. Do you think that he's achieved it like a click of the fingers? It needed hard work, persistent hard work, day in and day out. When it was raining cats and dogs, his coach used to drag him to the Maidan, and he used to be practicing every day, day in and day out, till such time as he achieved the level of success that he thought was required to be able to maintain his level on what he's been able to achieve. So, a number of management gurus and leadership experts got together, and they said, look, let's see as to what is that trait that is common for all great achievers. So what they did was, they chose Olympic athletes who had excelled. They chose grandmasters of chess. They chose musicians who were world renowned. And then they had one-to-one interviews, lots of interaction, and said, what is it that has made you achieve greatness which the others have not? And apart from all the other findings, there was one common vein. And they found that to achieve the greatness, it required 10,000 hours of practice in their particular field. 10,000 hours and more. Or let's put it this way, in your jargon, 10,000 hours and counting. So, when I read this for the first time, I said, 10,000 hours. I said, my God, who the hell is going to do it? Then I suddenly realized, 10,000 hours? In a day, if you want to achieve something which you are dedicated on, which you've got an interest in, let's say you put in 10 hours a day. It could be to become an expert in management, which all of you are here. 10 hours of focused study. 10,000 hours divided by 10. 1,000. In 1,000 days? What's 1,000 days? 3 years plus? In 3 years plus of dedicated, focused training, they achieved mastery. Each and every one of them. Now I've quoted to you, and all of you will say, sir, come on, don't give us all that bull. The fellow had a natural inborn talent. That's why he's gone. No. He had a particular talent in a particular field. You've got it in another. It depends on where your interest lies. Yes, I'm not denying Sachin Tendulkar definitely had an eye for the ball. I'll be quoting you, one of your own. But that doesn't mean that nobody else could get it. It is how you have to apply yourself. You have to apply yourself and hard work in the field that you desire to excel. So, you have to practice and you have to apply yourself. I quote to you another person as to how you have to apply. And the quote that I'll give it to you is from our current Indian cricket team. Who all are interested in cricket? Hands up. Yeah, so are you. Got plenty of cricketers here. The ladies are doing very well in cricket. They went and beat Pakistan also, which the men couldn't do. Yeah, they've done very, very well. Now, I make you all captains of the current Indian cricket team. And you're in the death over. Who's the bowler to whom you will chuck the ball? Any guesses? Come on, it's your choice. There are plenty of bowlers. Who would give it? Yes, sir.
Sir, Bumrah.
Bumrah. Why Bumrah?
Sir, because he has done very good in death overs in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. My choice, Jasprit Bumrah. Why? Because the 6 balls that he's going to deliver, no 2 balls are alike. He never does it. Because every time he goes back to his starting point, he's thinking, now how do I outwit that fellow? There'll be a variation in line, there'll be a variation in speed, there'll be a variation in direction, and he'll flabbergast that batsman. The batsman you just can't take him in a run. Whether he gets a wicket or not, that's separate. But the point that I'm trying to bring to you is, he's applying himself. Gone are the days when the West Indies 6'6" terror attack bowlers used to come at a speed of 150 plus and throw the ball, with lightning speed at the batsman, and their only aim was, how do I terrorize that chap? And I'm going to beat him by sheer speed. Till such time as the Indian batsmen got their wits together and they said, the speed that you throw it at me is the same speed that I'll send it back. Right? And now you got a new breed of Indian cricketers who think, and they are applying themselves. So that's the same thing for you, is that how do you keep applying yourself and then moving on? It's just your attitude and the approach. It doesn't matter how you're going to, what you need to do. You don't need to start now comparing yourself to anybody else. No, do not compare yourself. If you got to achieve a certain goal, you're achieving it to improve yourself, not in comparison of anybody. And if you manage to do what you think is correct and you are satisfied with the result, that is the ultimate achievement. You may not achieve your goal, or let's say you may not win the prize. How are you interested? But you get the satisfaction of having put in your best. And if you haven't won, then you have the satisfaction of saying, okay, I've done my best. Now I'll get back to the drawing board and see where did I go wrong to achieve that prize. And I'll get it next time. So that is how you must go about it. So if you do not get the prize in the first turn, my advice to you is don't be disappointed. And don't ever, grudge or be jealous of another man's success. It's possible that he's done it a different manner. And now it is for you to think about it and then do better the next time. So if anything is worth doing, remember it is worth doing the best. Do it to the best of your ability. After that, you can always move on. Have a clear plan, have a clear objective. Put it down in writing. There is no shortcut. I got everything here. No, you may have everything here, but unless you don't put it down in writing, I know all of you are all computer whizzes and everything. Put it down in a computer. Who's stopping you? But put it down. Put it down and have a clear look at it. So my advice to you is two. First, don't stop reading. Read as much as possible. Keep enhancing your knowledge in any direction. Any. It might be to your actual study, your general knowledge, or any respect. Keep reading. Read books. You want to read e-books, by all means. I also read books on Kindle. Fine. If you don't want to buy a hard copy, read it on Kindle. But read. The amount of knowledge that you will gain by reading is immeasurable. Nobody can give you the same. You can't get the same by just looking at YouTube. YouTube is picture, fine, a picture gets embedded, I agree. I'm not doubting that for 1 minute. But reading will give you something even more. It will give you the ability to be able to express yourself. And I come to the second point, is on writing. Remember, one of the greatest tribute to some of the most successful leaders which was given is that they all maintained diaries. Now, most of what I preach, I practice myself. But there is one aspect which I'll be very honest with you, I did not maintain a diary. I'm talking about now a daily diary. I never maintained it. I didn't have the patience possibly to be able to sit down every day at the end of the day to say that today I did this, today, no. But what I did was that if I read anything or I heard anything, I was taught anything, or I picked up anything good in the day, I would put it down in my diary. That is one thing I did. Even to date, the number of little notebooks that I've got, with chucked in out over there with some topic of the other, I might pick it up. Read a book and then just take the gist, 4-5 points, some highlights. Because every day, somebody, you'll be hearing hundreds of lectures, will give you something very, very critical, a small point. It could be Churchill's quote or anything, which you may like to use much later in life. Say, yeah, this is something which is very interesting. You might read it in the newspaper, and you would like to just put it away. And nobody can have such a vast memory to be able to remember everything and then vomit it out at the correct point of time. No. So, purchase a diary, purchase maybe an old diary, a nice, reasonable size, which has got 12 months all earmarked, and for every month, which has got good about 30 odd pages, there's plenty of pages. Give it for one particular heading: leadership, management, operational research, statistics, general knowledge. Give one page or one chapter for each. And anything that you find interesting, quotes, just put it down. In that particular one, put it. Sometime somebody calls you and said, come on, my friend, give a talk on this particular subject, or you got to work on something, on a presentation, and then you got to pick out something. That diary comes very, very handy. So, two aspects which I've told you: reading, writing, and trying to maintain a good diary. The other one, which I take on after this topic, the other aspect, of course, is attitude and how to extract the maximum from your potential, is vision. All successful leaders have vision. They dream dreams. They think big. Think Dhirubhai Ambani. He never inherited anything. And he left behind the greatest empire, a business empire, in possibly the world, in his own generation. Think Google, think Apple. All in one generation. Why? They dared to think big because they had a vision. They allowed themselves to dream. The only difference is many dream and leave it at that. Many dream and have the ability to convert their dreams into reality. That is what we expect all the young men and ladies in front of me to be able to achieve once you've finished 2 good years. Now, just to give you a little bibliography, like I said, for reading, some of the books that I referred to be able to prepare myself for this lecture or this talk, where one, of course, was Robert Martin Hall, where mostly he talks on potential, he talks on vision, and he talks beyond, is to be the best. Another very, very good author is Malcolm Gladwell. Both his books, The Story of Success and Blink, are very, very good books. And of course, lastly, there is no substitute, which I'm sure everybody you'll be having as a textbook, is In Pursuit of Excellence by Terry Ortlick. Many, many other books, but this is just for this talk. These are some of the books on which I took that out and some of the quotes from which I had got this out. Well, thank you very much, and that's what I wanted to convey to all of you today. And to you, I wish 2 very, very pleasant and fruitful years of stay here, which I'm sure you will all enjoy, and success in all your future endeavors. Now, thank you very much. I know it's been a long day for you, and you all must be wanting to say that, yeah, when's he going to stop now and let us go and have a good cup of tea after this? I won't keep you away from that. I quite understand what it is. We've been through it all. Thank you very much. Lovely being with you.
We thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. It's an honor to be a part of your audience. Thank you, sir. Don't worry about the failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. Just a few words to get you going. Trying is what counts. It's time for a tea break. See you all after a break.